Good morning, St. Mary's. Today I want to talk with you about transition. I've only been with you for a few weeks now, but I've had the chance to talk with some of you, both individually and at the parish meetings we've held. And transition, both what's happening in the church and how we feel about what's happening in the church, keeps coming up. This makes sense, of course. St. Mary's has been through a lot of transition in the last few years. Some of it has to do with COVID. Some of it has to do with staff transition. Some of it has to do with the wider trends of church attendance today. A lot is changing. So today, I'll share with you a very simple model for thinking about transitions. Now, a model isn't meant to be perfect. It's just a way for us to have some common vocabulary, some common understanding when we talk. The model comes from a researcher named William Bridges, and he categorizes transitions into three general phases. The first phase in Bridges' model is the phase of ending or losing or letting go. The second is called the neutral zone. And the third is called the new beginning. Now, it's important to know that at any given moment in any transition in any church or organization or family, there are people in all the stages. Some have already moved on and are well into a new beginning, while others are still trying to figure out how to let go. And second, it's important to know that we're talking here about emotional processes, not simply cognitive processes. And emotions are notoriously illogical and love to move at their own pace and sometimes love to move out of order. You might think you're emotionally ready for a new beginning, and suddenly you find yourself back in the stage of letting go, mourning what has been. What this means is that transitions cannot be rushed or skipped over. The only way out is through. So I'd like to say briefly something about each of these three phases and how they relate to us here at St. Mary's. First, letting go. This is the phase of coming to terms with the loss of what used to exist, with the world or the system or the church as we know it. In our current transition, this may be about the changing of rector, changing of priest, but it may be about more than that. You may find your heart unable to let go of the church you knew before COVID, even as your head knows that a major change in our world has taken place. This phase of transition, this phase of loss, is often experienced as feelings of grief, sadness, denial, even anger, as we try to let go. And the work in this phase is for us to name what we are feeling and to name what we are letting go of or losing so that we can be ready for what may come. The second is the neutral zone. This is the phase between what once was and what can be. According to Bridges, who put together the model, this is the time when most transitions fail. Rushing through the neutral zone almost never works because people's emotions don't always follow a logical path. The neutral zone is a phase of disorganized reorganizing, of unsettled resettling. It can be categorized by feelings of anxiety, tension, uncertainty. Any of that sound familiar? But also by feelings of creativity and emerging hope. And the work in this phase is to hold on to the relationships we have and to create new ones. Relationships are what get us through this phase together because it creates some emotional stability amid the changes all around us. So this phase is a really good time to invite your church friends over for dinner. You just pick up the phone and call them, check in on them. And finally, the new beginning. This is the time when we start to settle into a new reality. But one priest reminded his congregation that this isn't the phase of happily ever after. No, it's just the time when most of us have let go of what was, worked through some of our uncertainty, and decided to walk together into the future. It's a new beginning, not a destination. This phase is categorized by feelings of peacefulness, energy, confidence in the new direction, But it is always important to remember that even as some get to the phase of the new beginning, even as the organization as a whole, the church as a whole gets to new beginnings, some of us will still be in the neutral zone, or some will still be trying to let go. This is a lot to throw at you today, so I'll wrap it up and say that my point here isn't to try to hurry you along to a new beginning. Quite the opposite. My point in sharing this all with you is to encourage you to look within yourself and name what you're feeling about St. Mary's, what you're feeling when you come to St. Mary's. And then talk with me, talk with the wardens or others about it. Understanding how we're feeling and talking about it with each other is going to be essential if we are to find a way forward together. And finally, I'm sharing this with you because I want to tell you that it's okay to feel how you feel. If you're still mourning the loss of the St. Mary's that existed 30 years ago, that's okay. If you're still mourning the leaving of your previous rector, that's fine. If you're already feeling peaceful and confident in our future, that's okay too. Embrace it. If you feel anxious and uncertain about where we are, let me tell you that sometimes so do I. But wherever you are, whatever you're feeling, try to be aware that others in the church are moving at a different speed. They might be in a different place. And perhaps most importantly, know that wherever you are on this continuum, wherever you are in transition, know that you're not alone. Others are right there with you. We are all there together on this journey. And the only way out, the only way to a new beginning is to take our time and walk through this together. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being St. Mary's. And thank you for letting me walk on this journey with you. Peace, friends.